Hi, I'm Charles Brewer and I'm very proudly the Group CEO for Pos Malaysia. So to question one, what is the main priority of your post regarding sustainability? I guess for Pos Malaysia, I think first and foremost, we have a priority, a responsibility to be a lighthouse example in Malaysia. So Malaysia is a fantastic country, more than 30 million people. The government has a very clear roadmap in terms of what it wants to achieve around sustainability, but it cries out, it's crying out for lighthouse examples, companies that have taken the first step and have started the journey. So I'm really super pleased that we live up to that priority, that demand, that responsibility, that we'll be the first mail and logistics company in Malaysia to announce our sustainability program, but to take action. So number one is be a lighthouse. Second one is that we do things. We don't talk about stuff, that we actually do things. So we have 6 clear work streams, which is delivery methods. So how we actually deliver what we deliver. Second one is fleet optimization. So it'll take us some time to convert all of our fleet. So in the interim, we want to make sure the fleet that we do have that is not green, that we use that fleet to an optimized way and using things like telematics. Third one is green buildings. We have a lot of buildings, more than 600 odd buildings in Malaysia, using a lot of energy, and we want to make sure the energy we use for those buildings is as clean and green as it possibly can be. The fourth one is waste management. We do something like 60 million pieces of paper every single year. We're in a very clear modernization program, but we still have a very manual environment, so a lot of paper. So reduce the waste, reuse the waste, stop the waste entirely, remove photocopiers, for example. How can we actually get a cleaner environment where we operate? The fifth one is eco-consumerism, so packaging. So we already have green boxes, and now we're working very hard on replacing our plastic flyers with 80% recyclable material. So the packaging that we use is as green and clean as it can be. And the last one is learning, and both digital learning and learning. So again, part of our responsibility is to educate as best we can the 18,500 or more so employees that we have on why it's important. Why is sustainability so important? Why is it relevant that we make the changes that we're making? And secondly, moving as much of our training as possible to digital, which will improve our footprint considerably. So for us, those are our key priorities. Question number 2, what is the biggest achievement of your post regarding sustainability? I think there's probably 3 things that I'm super proud of. One, that we have a really doable plan. We have a well thought through, well considered, well constructed roadmap for each of those 6 elements I mentioned earlier on. That's number 1. Number 2, I have a fantastic team, and I don't take that lightly. In Malaysia is still an embryonic stage in terms of sustainability, so finding talent that are passionate about the subject but have the relevant experience is quite tough. And I'm very blessed to have a great team who are super passionate and learning really fast. And the third thing is, as I mentioned earlier, is we're doing things. So we already have more than 40, we've already converted more than 40 of our ICE bikes to e-bikes. We've already now have facilities with solar panels on it. We've already started our waste management. So we're putting into practice what we said we would do and doing it. And that's really critical. A lot of people talking about sustainability, some that are really heading down that road and doing what they said they're going to do. And I'm really super proud of the efforts we've made so far and the success we've had so far. Much more to come, but making really good progress. Question 3, what is the main challenge for your post in the use of renewable energy, electrification of fleet? I mentioned it a little bit earlier that Malaysia is still in the sort of early stage of sustainability in some respects, and so we have a few challenges. One is that the availability of solutions is still fairly low. So for example, when we started our journey, and on pillar number 1, delivery methods, the number of vendors, suppliers in Malaysia that could supply EVs, whether it be 2-wheel or 4-wheel, is really quite small. I think it was less than 2. Now we have 4 that can provide 2-wheel electric vehicles, and an increasing number almost every week, almost every month. And that increase in suppliers and vendors gives us a lot more choice, and of course lowers the cost. That's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is cost. Like most people who embark on this journey, you're looking for what's the payback, what's the return. And there's lots of good reasons we would do this regardless, but when you're in a fairly challenging fiscal environment, as Pos Malaysia is, it's quite hard to work through the capex cost or the potential capex cost of the various elements that I mentioned earlier on, the 6 work streams that we have. Now, we're really lucky. We work really closely with our partners and vendors for as much as possible for that cost to be an OPEX cost. So we share on the save on solar panel as an example. We lease the vehicles rather than purchase. That works well for us today. It may not be how we operate forever, but having that close relationship with partners where you can find a win-win for both of us without having high capex outlay keeps my CFO happy and the board, and still keeps me happy because it allows me to progress. That would be the second one. And the third one, I kind of mentioned this earlier, is capability and capacity of the organization. So we are going through a significant transformation and turnaround, and this is another overlay of things that we need to do, and having the bandwidth in the organization to absorb more projects can definitely create some challenge. But if you come in with it with a huge amount of emotion and energy like me, then generally speaking, you can still achieve it. And as I mentioned, the team I have are fantastic, but they're also learning. Just like me, they're learning. So we look to learn from other postal operators. A couple of the team were over in Brussels just recently with IPC, learning from their sustainability team. So we learn, and that allows us to go that little bit faster. Question 4, what is your main message on Green Postal Day? You can do it, yeah? And all of us have an absolute responsibility to be the change we want to see in others. And I think it starts with, any culture transformation, any business transformation starts with us, the CEO, the leadership team, and it's important that you're passionate about that. Whatever you're embarking on, you're super passionate about it, you're very energized behind it, and you stick to focusing on clear and simple execution, but just do it. We have to do it. Look at the planet, look what's happening with fires in Canada, flooding here in Malaysia. It's close to home these days, so we have a responsibility to be different and be better for our children and our children's children. So from my perspective to you, I wish you all the very best with Green Day. Let's just do it.